Oh, that was a long day yesterday. A long day. I was going to say a great day. It was a good day. Pretty good day at the Meadows. And as I said a number of times last night, I guess a revealing day at Scioto. The takeaway from last night is we got to see, I did have somebody say, well, if you thought those fillies weren't good enough, why would you race them in the State Fair? Well, if we hadn't raced them in the State Fair, we'd still be waking up today wondering if they are one of the best sire stake fillies. And they are. Nice fillies. Do very well in the Stallion Series. Can fill, probably, if they had to. Likely at 3, if they continue to grow. Could be sire stake fillies, potentially. But right now, all they are is fillies that look like they're going to be very good contenders in the consolation, and if everything goes right, and some serious competition in the Stallion Series. So I think last night was very important because it allowed us to see very clearly what we have and what we don't have. So in that regard, I am very happy with what went on last night. The only disappointing part was Venice Blue Chip, because I still can't say that she's not good enough. I guess we will have to pivot into the Stallion Series, I guess. But I still want to know what's going on with her. The scope last night was not as revealing as I'd hoped. Maybe the blood work will be from today, but I'd sent a message to just a little group chat with Jason and Dr. Latessa. Maybe I didn't put Jason on it. I'll be talking to him in a minute, saying, listen, we got to put our heads together and figure out what's going on with this filly. It's not lameness. It doesn't appear to be in her airway as of last night. So where is it? Now, the blood work will be revealing, but it just feels like it wasn't that she wasn't good enough. Like Purple People Eater, you could say it's her shoeing. Patricia, one of our clients, had messaged me, said, wasn't very happy with my drive. To which I said, I'm the first to say I'll throw myself on a grenade anytime and say it was my fault. I drove bad. That's something I'll blame myself for. The drive on Purple People Eater was mathematically perfect last night. She just, whether it was her shoeing or whether, I don't think it was that she was not good enough, because she felt strong at Northfield Park, 1:58, which is comparable to 1:57 and 3 in Scioto. It's a speedway there also. So I don't think it was the speed. I think it was the shoeing. And she did offer an olive branch and say, Purple Aura struggled at Scioto with flip-flops. And she is 100% correct. She did. So similar gaits. It's hard to believe that it would be a family trait, but similar gaits more likely on that surface. But she does need the flip-flops. So as I said to Jason, if we do have to go back down there, then I guess we'll put our thinking caps on and see what we can come up with. But she does need the flip-flops right now. Her feet do bother her. Not shocking considering how hard she hits the ground. So why would I stay in this lane behind a transport truck? So as I said, revealing last night was the two fillies. The path forward actually looks very, very good for them as far as where they can fit and what they can fit. Now, they're going to have to carry the mail in the Stallion Series. They're going to have to do well in the last two legs, but it looks like that consolation is in their crosshairs, so to speak, which would be good. The Venice Blue Chip situation, we're going to have to wait for the blood work. There's no point beating that drum. We're going to have to wait and see what the blood work says. I hope there's something in there that says what's going on with her, because it wasn't, as I was saying with Purple Aura, I could tell at the head of the lane she just couldn't put out anymore, and it wasn't the same with Venice. Starting into the backstretch, Venice didn't want anymore. That's not Venice Blue Chip. That's not the horse we trained down. So and it's not that she can't pace fast enough. She already has 53 twice. The position she was in last night, a real good third is what she should have or could have been, and potentially a winner, but definitely not eighth. No. So we'll get to the bottom of that also. Now, I say it all the time, and I think it's worth bringing up. I always say we have the best clients. We do. I had somebody message me yesterday and said, Mr. McDonald, every year you have an equipment fee in June, and it's completely plausible. You race a lot of horses, go through a lot of equipment, but I didn't see that this year. I apologize that I did not charge you enough money this year. The issue I had was we did have enough. We bought some equipment, but I felt we had enough to get through the summer. And I don't like, listen, I wake up as a father and a husband the same as you do, and I'm well aware of the cost of things in life, and I do the best I can to keep costs down when I can. And with the harness situation, we didn't need a ton of harness. We needed some. But I think in response to this email, it was something that was coming up and something I thought about. I know a couple other stables do it. When we buy some yearlings, maybe we'll allot. I don't think every yearling needs its own harness. It's just a lot, right? We have 100, and let's say we have 120 horses, roughly full time. It drops and jumps. We should have somewhere between at least 60 or 70 race harnesses that you can go to the track and race. They look really, really good. I think we have at least, let's say, 60. If that's the case, in which it easily is, we only need 20, 30, 40 maybe at the most harnesses that would be effectively, and you don't want to go to the track looking like a bum, right? You want to have nice harness and nice gear on your horses and have them looking good and professional. So I think the easiest way to go about it is just simply, if you guys don't mind, at the yearling sales, just say instead of $40,000 for hip number 200 or hip number 2 for that matter, it'd be $40,600 or $700, and we'll just build a harness out for that horse, that particular horse. It's not clean, it's not surgical, but I just thought it would make the most sense for us as a stable, just to figure out, you guys don't know, you have to continually, like I bought 4 sets of trotting boots the other day and 8 sets of bell boots. These are little tiny things, but they all add up, right? So I think that's the best way to go about that. I am looking for input from you. Now, inevitably, I'm going to have people saying, I don't think I should be charged for equipment. It's wonderful. We can race the horses and see if somebody can ride them. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be charging people nitpicking. But when it comes to buying harnesses for the horses, I'll buy the bikes, all right? And they're about $5,000 each. But when it comes to the harnesses, we do need some from time to time. So I am looking for your input. Also, coming up, I don't want to get into this theme of talking about yearling sales. Somebody emailed me yesterday and said, I know you don't want to talk about yearlings just yet, but there's a yearling right here. No, I don't really want to talk about yearlings. We already have 6 to bring in. I'm sure there'll be a grouping of them show up in On Gate and those types of things, and in the Ohio sale. And it's not really where we shop for them. If one catches my eye, so be it. But for the most part, it'll be the select sale in Ohio, Lexington, Harrisburg, the Ontario Select, or whatever they have in Ontario this year. We haven't got a chance to go to Indiana for a while. Haven't needed to. I think we're going to have a pretty fun year with Mel Gibbs one. So will we shop again in Lexington for a couple of Indiana breds? Probably. Same as New York. A couple of New York breds, probably. Every day, this lady needs to see my pass. That's all right there. Yeah, well, you're doing your job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great day. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, the yearling sales. So, I want to focus on what's right ahead of me, especially today and then the coming weeks with the horses. Once we get through that bulk of the summer, and we get nights like last night that allow us to have some clarity and say, okay, Sedona Hill, Purple People are going to race in the Stallion Series. We're going to aim for the Constellation of the Stallion with them. Same things in Pennsylvania and all the other places, Ontario, everywhere. Once we have those moments of clarity and we know what we're dealing with, and then it's just execute. At that point, also the yearling sale books will come out. We can start talking about them. But for right now, I don't really want to focus on them, but I find myself just drifting that way, just to get everybody ready for what's coming. And at some point, we will start talking about buckets again, but for right now, racing. But this brief moment, I am interested in what your thoughts are as far as harnesses for the babies at the sale. That way it's easier to keep track of them. Also, insurance, obviously, and unfortunately, we had a few instances where insurance would have kicked in this year, and the first time, well, 4 times in my life they would have. 3 of them were last year. So I guess I'm toying with the idea of an annual insurance policy for the entire year rather than just that 30 days out of the sale. I have been talking to Jeff about that. The staking also. I wanted to figure out. I've been pushing for the USTA and well, Standard Canada is just Canada, but the USTA Hambletonian Society. So the Hambletonian Society to change their. I guess there's a rule in place where you can't stake before. It's just completely ridiculous, the entire process. I've been pushing for it to be much like it was in Australia, where you can stake on sale day, right? And you can add stakes if you want to have, the Breeders' Crown payments and whatever, February, March, fine, you can add those. But for the most part, the packages we want to put into our horses when we purchase them, we could do on sale day. Now, if we did do that, and I've been trying to work with Joanne's, I just don't know what kind of an incentive there could be to do it on sale day if we can wait till February. At this point, there's none, other than we can insure the horse and the stake payments attributed to that horse on the sale day or around sale day. I like that better than, going through that hive or at the sale, because my thinking personally, just as your partner and a human being, if I went to the sale, bought a horse for, let's use the same number, $40,000. So we buy the horse for $40,000. We get the harness for the horse there, which is $500, $600, $700, whatever it is, and then insure the horse. So I guess let's say 40. I think it's like 2%. So let's say $800. Is that right? 10% is 4,000. Yeah, somewhere around there. It'd be around $800 to insure the horse for the year. And then look at the staking and say, well, usually the general staking fee in Ohio, it's simple. We usually just stake them in Ohio, which is $800 to $1,000 with everything all included. So now you're at not even 43,000. So let's say it's $4,260. Okay. Thank you. Now I don't have to worry for the most part about my staking, my harness, the insurance. Here's the horse. Thank you. I would think that would make, one, my life as the head of the stable easier, and 2, probably yours. You don't have to worry about that stuff in February, right? There's nothing worse than getting through Christmas, getting through the new year. Oh, here's your staking bill. I hate that. Anyway, these are open items to discuss. We have the harness, we have the staking, we have the insurance. We're not talking about the yearling sales or any yearlings just yet. I don't want to hear about that. But the entire process and the model as we move into the latter part of the summer and what comes after that, it is up for and open for discussion. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to train Wallop right now. Only horse I'm training today is Wallop. I'm going to take my time. A gentleman had asked me for a ride to the meadows, so I have to get in contact with him. Ava is going to PEI and ask for some sweaters, I think. I have to go and look for some sweaters for her. And that will be it for the morning. Now, the afternoon, it's going to be a busy, busy, busy day here for us at the stable. Me in Pennsylvania, Jason in Ohio. Again, I went back and watched the replay of Brace for Landing last night and talked to James on the way home. I guess literally he was worried it was going to be a tornado at Mohawk last night after the races. He said he actually waited 20 minutes to leave. That's how bad the weather was. And he said Brace was good. He said with the belly band hobbles, I can't tell if they were too tight. I didn't think they were. He was going to go back and watch the replay also. We'll race him next week. And then, as I said, off to the Beal is the plan. Now, there's a very, very real possibility we're going to enter him, and he's not going to get in. But nevertheless, we are going to enter him. So with that, a day of discussion. Feel free to drop me a line. Now, if I don't get back to you right away, it's obviously I can't write emails when I'm driving. That would be grossly negligent and dangerous. So when I get to when I get to the Meadows, or later on this evening, I'll drop you a line, toying with the idea of just staying down there because I am going to be there tomorrow afternoon. But we'll see. We'll see how the wind blows for the rest of the day for me. So, with that, I'll let you go. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will talk to you all very, very soon. Take care.